Ancient Egypt, a land of pharaohs, pyramids, and powerful gods. Its history spans thousands of years, filled with stories of rulers and empires. But some pharaohs stand out, leaving a mark more significant than others. Mentuhotep II is one such pharaoh, a ruler who rose to prominence in a time of turmoil and division. He is celebrated as the unifier of Egypt, the pharaoh who brought an end to years of internal conflict and ushered in a new era of prosperity and power. Mentuhotep II's reign marked the beginning of the Middle Kingdom, a period of resurgence and stability in Egyptian history. His story is one of ambition, military prowess, and a deep love for his people. He inherited a divided kingdom, a land struggling to find its footing after years of unrest. But Mentuhotep II, with his vision and determination, set out to change the course of Egyptian history. This essay will delve into the life and reign of Mentuhotep II, exploring his lineage, his rise to power, and his significant contributions to ancient Egypt. Mentuhotep II, whose name means Mentu is satisfied, was born into a time of uncertainty. The political landscape of Egypt was fragmented, and the once unified kingdom was now divided into competing factions. His father, Intef III, ruled over Thebes, a powerful city in Upper Egypt. Thebes was not just a city, it was a symbol of resistance and ambition, a beacon of hope for those who longed for a unified Egypt. However, Egypt was not the unified kingdom it once was. The land was split, with different regions vying for power and control, leading to a period of great instability and conflict. Instead, it was divided, with a rival dynasty ruling from the north in Lower Egypt. This northern dynasty was powerful and had its own ambitions, creating a tense and competitive atmosphere. Mentuhotep II's ancestors, the Intefs, had risen to prominence in Upper Egypt, challenging the authority of the northern rulers. They were determined to restore the glory of a united Egypt, and their efforts laid the groundwork for future generations. They claimed the title of pharaoh, but their rule remained confined to the south. Despite their limited control, their claim to the throne was a bold statement of their intentions and aspirations. Intef III, Mentuhotep II's father, continued this struggle, pushing northwards to expand his territory and assert his claim over all of Egypt. His campaigns were marked by both military engagements and strategic alliances, all aimed at consolidating power. Mentuhotep II grew up in this environment, surrounded by the legacy of his forefathers and their ambition to reunite the two lands. He was constantly reminded of the importance of unity and the need to restore Egypt to its former glory. He inherited their determination, and upon his father's death, the responsibility to fulfill this ambition fell upon his shoulders. The young prince was now faced with the daunting task of achieving what his ancestors had strived for. Although little is known about his early life, it is clear that Mentuhotep II was groomed for leadership, instilled with the values and traditions of his lineage, and prepared for the challenges that lay ahead. His education would have included not only military training, but also lessons in governance, diplomacy, and the religious duties of a pharaoh. This comprehensive preparation ensured that he was well equipped to lead and to realize the dream of a unified Egypt. To understand the significance of Mentuhotep II's reign, we must first understand the state of Egypt before his rise to power. The country was divided, split between the rulers of Upper Egypt in the south and Lower Egypt in the north. This period, known as the First Intermediate Period, was a time of political instability and social unrest. The once strong central authority of the pharaoh had weakened, allowing regional governors and nomarchs to gain more power and influence. These local rulers often clashed with each other, leading to constant warfare and instability. The division of the kingdom had a profound impact on Egyptian society. Trade routes were disrupted, hindering economic growth. Monuments fell into disrepair, and artistic production declined. The people suffered under the weight of conflict and uncertainty. This period of division cast a long shadow over Egypt, threatening to permanently fracture the land of the pharaohs. It was against this backdrop of turmoil that Mentuhotep II emerged, determined to reunite his fractured kingdom and restore Egypt to its former glory. Section 4. Rise of a Unifier. Mentuhotep II's ascent to power. Mentuhotep II ascended to the throne of Thebes at a young age, inheriting a kingdom on the brink of change. The political landscape was fragmented, with various regions vying for power and influence. Thebes, though a significant city, was just one of many competing for dominance in a divided Egypt. His father, Intef III, had laid the groundwork for reunification, but it was Mentuhotep II who would see it through. Intef's efforts had been crucial in stabilizing Thebes and preparing it for the challenges ahead. Mentuhotep II inherited not just a throne, but a mission to unify the land. From the outset of his reign, Mentuhotep II demonstrated a clear vision for Egypt, a united and prosperous land under the rule of a single pharaoh. He envisioned a nation where the Nile's bounty could be shared by all, and where the ancient traditions and gods of Egypt could be honored in harmony. He began by consolidating his power in Upper Egypt, securing his southern borders and building a strong army. This military strength was essential, but Mentuhotep II knew that true power came from more than just force. Mentuhotep II understood that to defeat the rival dynasty in the north, he needed more than just military might. He needed a strategy that combined diplomacy, religious authority, and the support of his people. He needed the support of the people, their faith in his leadership, and their belief in a unified Egypt. To achieve this, he engaged in public works, religious ceremonies, and acts of generosity that would endear him to his subjects. Mentuhotep II embarked on a campaign to win over the hearts and minds of his people. He traveled extensively, meeting with local leaders, priests, and common folk, presenting himself as a ruler who cared deeply for the well-being of all Egyptians. He presented himself as the rightful heir to the pharaohs of old, a ruler destined to reunite the two lands and usher in a new era of peace and prosperity. His connection to the divine was emphasized, portraying him as chosen by the gods to lead Egypt. His message resonated with the Egyptian people, weary of division and conflict. They longed for stability and the return of a golden age, and Mentuhotep II's vision promised just that. They saw in Mentuhotep II a leader capable of restoring order and returning Egypt to its former glory. His efforts to unify the nation were not just about power, but about creating a legacy of peace and prosperity that would endure for generations. Section 5. The Battle for Unity, Mentuhotep II's Campaign. With his power base secured in Upper Egypt, Mentuhotep II turned his attention northwards. His ambition was not just to expand his territory, but to bring about a unified Egypt, a dream that had eluded many before him. He launched a military campaign to conquer Lower Egypt and defeat the rival dynasty that had held sway for generations. This was no small feat, as the rival dynasty was deeply entrenched and had its own loyal followers and formidable defenses. The details of this campaign are shrouded in the mists of time, but what is clear is that Mentuhotep II was a skilled military strategist and a courageous leader. His ability to plan and execute complex military maneuvers was unparalleled, and he often outwitted his enemies with clever tactics. His army, well-trained and well-equipped, marched northwards, engaging in a series of battles against the forces of Lower Egypt. These battles were fierce and brutal, testing the limits of his soldiers' endurance and loyalty. Mentuhotep II led his troops from the front, inspiring them with his courage and determination. His presence on the battlefield was a morale booster, and his soldiers fought with renewed vigor, knowing their leader was with them. He understood the importance of propaganda and utilized inscriptions and monuments to celebrate his victories and demoralize his enemies. These inscriptions not only recorded his triumphs, but also served as a psychological weapon against his adversaries. The war for reunification was long and arduous, but Mentuhotep II never wavered in his resolve. His determination was unwavering, and he continually motivated his troops, ensuring they remained focused on the ultimate goal. He pushed his army forward, slowly but surely gaining ground against the forces of Lower Egypt. Each victory, no matter how small, was a step closer to the reunification of Egypt. His victories in key battles turned the tide of the war in his favor. And finally, after years of conflict, Mentuhotep II achieved his goal. His strategic brilliance and relentless pursuit of victory ensured that he would be remembered as one of Egypt's greatest pharaohs. He conquered the last bastion of resistance in Lower Egypt, effectively reuniting the two lands under his rule. This monumental achievement marked the beginning of a new era of peace and prosperity for Egypt, with Mentuhotep II at its helm, guiding the nation towards a brighter future. Section 6. A unified Egypt, the reunited kingdom under Mentuhotep II. Mentuhotep II's victory in the north marked a turning point in Egyptian history. After years of division and strife, Egypt was once again a united kingdom. This reunification ushered in a new era of stability and prosperity, known as the Middle Kingdom, a golden age in Egyptian history. As the pharaoh of a reunited Egypt, Mentuhotep II set about consolidating his power and restoring order. He established a new capital at Thebes, making it the center of his kingdom. He appointed loyal officials to key positions in government, ensuring his authority was recognized throughout the land. Mentuhotep II also implemented policies to heal the wounds of division and promote unity among his people. He revived trade routes, revitalizing the economy and bringing prosperity to all corners of the kingdom. Mentuhotep II understood the importance of religion in Egyptian society and reinstated the traditional religious practices that had been disrupted during the First Intermediate Period. He ordered the construction and restoration of temples, honoring the gods and goddesses of Egypt. Subscribe for more interesting facts about ancient Egypt and its fascinating history.